G'day, mates. Welcome to Beef Snake Nerdcast. I'm Bolter, and I must deny all ties, associations, or coincidental relations with any snake-related secret society bent on world domination. Although if the price was right...
ZX Spider-Man Commodore 128 and 64. I hit the floor, I hit the shore. Got game skills from days of yore. I close the deck, computer rolls.
G.I.Joe, good versus evil, heroes versus villains, soldiers versus terrorists. G.I. Joe has had its ups and downs throughout its lifetime, but it was always a basic concept that anybody could really understand, despite how blatantly American it could be. But between the flag-waving Joes and the screaming Cobras, there was always a group that caught my attention time and time again. The Dreadnoks. The Dreadnoks are a band of independent mercenaries with loyalties about as strong as your bank account, and no real scruples about what they do or get paid for. Naturally, this means that they are consistently on Cobra's payroll. Led by the mysterious Zartan, they float somewhere between legitimate threat and band of bumbling buffoons, depending on the writer. Now, like its sister series, Transformers, G.I. Joe has a multiverse, and the Dreadnoks are a stable force in that multiverse, with their members and numbers fluctuating. I will be talking about them and their impacts on the multiple theaters of G.I. Joe, focusing primarily on the shows. In the original cartoon, a real American hero, the Dreadnoks are initially a small band of Australians operating out of Florida. No jokes, please. They are contracted out by Cobra for smash and grab operations, extra firepower, or, in the case of Zartan specifically, infiltration and ambush missions. The initial team consists of charming fellows like Buzzer and Ripper and Torch. What a bunch of guys. These three are pretty interchangeable, kind of blending together in an aesthetic of mirror shades and big bushy beards. The best way to tell them apart is their signature weapons, which are a massive bayonet, a chainsaw, and a flamethrower, respectively. They're around to give the Joe someone to beat up other than faceless goons, and help Cobra members with names save face. They played the part of mean-spirited stooges pretty well, and also give Zartan someone to explain his dastardly plans to, and bark insults at when they inevitably go wrong. Real American Hero also has them as the most merc they get out of all of the shows. They pick fights and bicker with Cobra members, they always try to squeeze more money out of Cobra Commander, and they once stole a piece of a doomsday weapon and tried to ransom it back to whichever side would pay them more. They did not care if the world was on fire as long as they got paid. That is dedication to the craft right there, my friends. Personally, one of the most memorable schemes Cobra ever hired them out for was when they posed as a hair metal band called Cold Slither and used the music that they made and legitimately produced with the help of the twins, Tomax and Zaymot, to brainwash teenagers into a slave army to destroy G.I. Joe. No, I'm not making that up. As the show went on, they gained more and more members, like Road Pig and Thrasher. But they also got less and less screen time. This is the fate of all characters in shows meant to sell toys. By the movie, they were kind of around in the background if they were remembered at all. The next time these guys would see the screen would be in the 2000 series G.I. Joe Sigma 6 by 4Kids Entertainment. May no one remember their name. The Dreadnoks were back to being a small team of troublesome mercenaries, high on violence and short on brains, save of course for Zartan. The lineup was a little different here, keeping Buzzer and Torch, but swapping out Ripper for a new character, Machete. No, not Danny Trejo, even if that would have been awesome. Once again, these guys were around to get their asses handed to them by the Joes, cause a few laughs, and make the villains look more threatening. I think the most dangerous thing that they ever got up to was when they were field testing a super killer robot, and Buzzer had the bright idea to try to use an ancient power crystal to supercharge the killer robot to kill Snake Eyes. Oops, the power crystal just fried the robot's operating system. Now it's shooting at everybody and can't be stopped with conventional weapons. And now Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow have to use a super secret awesome ninja technique to destroy it. Yeah, that's basically what the Dreadnoks were here for, but admittedly they were very fun to watch. We wouldn't see the Dreadnoks again until G.I.Joe Renegade, and unfortunately here they are less of a crew of characters and more set decorations for Zartan. In Renegades, the Dreadnoks are less of a group of mercenaries and more a biker gang, which actually really works. They always had a bit of a vibe going for them, and the shift fits well, especially with how grounded and different Renegades is. You can sort of tell who's who, though, with the weapons that they carry or the hairstyles that they have. But they don't get much characterization, and sadly just kind of play for Zartan's sake. Everything kind of focuses on him. So let's follow suit and focus on Zartan. Zartan is, without a doubt, my favorite character out of all of G.I. Joe. He's sneaky, he's underhanded, he's likely to cut and run as he is to pull a Scooby-Doo style plot twist. He's the most prominent member of the Dreadnoks. So let's take a closer look at him and how he appears throughout the years. In Real American Heroes, Zartan is weird. The reason why he operates in a swamp in Louisiana, still think that's a weird twist, is because his skin can camouflage him into the surroundings when he's walking around. But he is weakened by direct sunlight like some kind of horror movie monsters. Again, not making that up. And I still cannot tell if he is wearing a hood or that is his hair. The dude's got a serious JoJo fit going on. He is remarkably enjoyable as a character, though, just because of how much of a shit disturber he is. The Joes would think they are securing a piece of advanced technology. Surprise, bitch! It was Zartan impersonating the head scientist, and the Baroness was his hot assistant, and you fell into Cobra's trap. Mwahahaha! Speaking of the Baroness, the fact that the two of them got assigned to so many infiltration missions together probably didn't make him any friends on Cobra's side, specifically with Destro. And they make their grudge match everyone else's problem. Cobra Commander has lost a few times because these guys cannot get their shit together and work as a team. Then again, I don't think either of them are particularly broken up about the losses of their dear Cobra Commander. Swapping from one Saturday morning cartoon to another, in Sigma 6, Zartan is way more sinister. He speaks in hushed tones, using a holographic projector in his armor to disguise himself and make himself invisible. He's also got a bit of a rivalry with the G.I. Joe member Spirit due to clashing ideals. You know, other than the whole trying to take over the world thing. Spirit was a guy who was all about honesty, natural ability, and instinct, contrasting very sharply with Zartan's deceptiveness and reliance on technology. It was always cool to see those two clash. Switching over to G.I. Joe Renegades, Zartan's is, as mentioned, head of the Dreadnoks biker gang that terrorized the highways in Middle America, mostly doing shakedown runs on small businesses or ransacking passing trucks. He's very creepy in this depiction, mocking and taunting victims in their own voice. That's right, Zartan's thing in this series is a masterful talent for impersonations, and he uses it to misdirect and screw with his opponents. He picks up a massive grudge against Snake Eyes in this series, as the two of them kind of run in the same circles. One steals voices and uses stealth and confusion, the other one is a master of stealth and confusion, and doesn't have a voice to steal. That, and Snake Eyes straight up stole his bike. That pissed him off. Zartan wanted revenge after the first time they ran into each other, and that's when Baroness, heavy of Cobra Industries and best girl, offers him a job. Unfortunately, G.I. Joe Renegades was cut short, so that's really all we have to work on with Zartan at the moment. Overall, Zartan is a fascinating character. He is a wild card who is just consistent enough where you know what side he's going to land on, but you don't know how good he is going to be for that side. The different takes on his stealth skills are great, and the Dreadnoks as a whole add something to this whole static good versus bad guy thing that G.I. Joe kind of sets itself up for. The setting would be way more boring without all of them, and I'm very appreciative for these villainous Floridian Australian men. I can't believe I just said that. Thank you for tuning in to Beef Snake Nerdcast. I've been Bolter, and I look forward to our day of liberation by the glorious forces of Cobra. I mean, you can find me on social media. Please tune in next time when we talk about the Carcharodon Astra from Warhammer 40k. Again, I promise I've got more to talk about than just Warhammer. Till then, praise Cobra, but only if my paycheck doesn't bounce.